Cheat code. Support strategist. By Clouds. My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down. On AO3. Chapter 83. Battles. Dabi was supposed to focus on traumatizing Shoto tonight. But no. Of course he had to go and find the stupid gamer boy who should never have been put in charge of the league to begin with and kill him. Trapper had tried to give them as much info on the school's layout as possible, but it'd be built by a literal rat, so it was a maze. Speaking of the rat, Dabi was betting that he'd find Shigaraki right in his office. It was probably near the center, basing things on traditional rat mazes, but he wasn't too concerned about solving anything right now. That was what the new recruits' quirks were for, after all. Just compress the walls in front of us, Dabi ordered. We're not playing by the rules of their little game. The frog girl was pretty cute, and Himiko was still deciding on her options when it came to the mushroom girl, but she thought the lizard girl could definitely use some improvements. Why don't you bleed when you split apart? It'd be so much cute if you just bled a little more. Yeah, because that's not creepy at all, Setsune murmured. The disembodied hands were grasping at an ugly mask around Himiko's neck, and she would have given it up if it also hadn't been connected to her blood canisters to let her drink on the go. Not that she had any blood in them at the moment, but she was working on that. Come on, I just want a little taste of your blood, Himiko cried out. I'm only gonna hurt you a little. Doesn't that sound like fun? No! All three girls answered in unison. It would have been cute if they were just bloodied up a little more. The frog girl's tongue came barreling towards her again, and she managed to slash it with her knife, but the attack created an opening for the lizard girl to send a leg and kick her in the back of the knees, which then allowed the frog girl to wrap her tongue around the mask and pull. The tubing pulled out and Toga scowled as she stood back up. That was totally not cute. Setsune, get out of here, the mushroom girl said. Ashui put the mask on. Call me Sue, the frog girl said, putting on the mask. Oh, Sue! Himiko's eyes lit up. What a cute name. The frog girl glanced at her from above the mask. Only my friends get to call me Sue. Himiko smiled. Well, I guess that means we're friends then. Her voice cut out when she suddenly stopped being able to breathe. There was a slight mist in the air. Mustard. No, the mushroom girl answered. Spores. You're not getting anyone's blood tonight. The mist disappeared, but she could still feel it in her lungs as her vision went spotty. What? The lizard girl ran back up. I found a rope. Let's tie her up. Well, that hadn't been fun at all. Shoji shielded Mei with his arms, as Dark Shadow grappled with Moonfish. Shoji could use some armor for his arms, but she'll have to be careful not to restrict the range of movements. Maybe something like a cape, made of caviar, obviously, and Tokoyami needed some more of in terms of defense, and maybe some offense too, but she'll have to experiment and May focused herself to pay attention to the fight and brave someone for babies. Just some taser marbles. So nothing fancy, but still effective enough that a face full of them was able to keep Moonfish from slaking off one of Shoji's extra's arms. As soon as Moonfish wheeled back, Shoji dashed forward and yanked the door to the maintenance room open. Go! We'll make sure he doesn't follow you. May nodded and dropped one more stink bomb just to make sure Moonfish still couldn't rely on his sense of smell, then ran into the maintenance room. She slammed the door behind her, and May turned on a flashlight and opened her tool bag. All right, time to get this baby working again. Shinso ran through the halls, trying to put as much distance between himself and Mineta as he could. He ordered him to turn himself in to the teachers, but Hitoshi wasn't stupid. He knew that the likelihood of something knocking Mineta out of control before then was almost guaranteed. He didn't want to be anywhere near the creep when that happened. Izuku had warned them that there had to be another traitor, But why hadn't they focused harder on figuring out Trapper's identity? He scrambled back when Spinner dropped from the ceiling right in front of him. Hello again, hero. We didn't get quite the chance to finish our conversation last time. Ochako teleported to Koda. Hey, I'm gonna get you out of here, okay? It's him. It's Muscular. He killed my mom and dad. Koda's eyes widened, and he pointed over her shoulder. Watch out! A punch burrowed into her from the side, knocking her through the wall. She groaned and stood up to see the huge villain gloating as he towered over her. This is the hero they sent after me. A puny little girl. Ochako shifted into a fight stance. A puny little girl who beat All Might in a fair fight. The villain laughed. Oh, you got spunk, but even All Might couldn't beat me. I'm gonna love killing you. Ochako gritted her teeth. And I'm gonna love beating that stupid grin off your face. She felt a tingle run down her spine, just in time for Muscular to throw a massive Quirk-enhanced punch right at her face. She channeled One for All and moved faster than she thought possible, grabbing him in preparation for a judo flip, activating her Quirk so that she could actually ship him completely over her shoulders and slam him into the ground. He didn't even keep him down for a second. He twisted her arm, and she helped as she felt the bone snap. Pathetic. Maybe killing the kid will be more fun. She bit her lip and launched herself at him. Don't touch him! The most she'd ever teleported on repeat had been when she first developed her quirk. Ever since she learned to control her jumps, she hadn't teleported more than 2 or 3 times in a row. The only exception had been the mall, but even then she'd only been teleporting herself. The only time she teleported on repeat with another person in tow had been that one time with All Might, and that had only been twice. She knew it had been draining, but at the moment, she really couldn't bring herself to care. She grabbed onto Muscular and teleported to every single one of her classmates, not staying at any of them long enough for Muscular to get his bearings. Around number 10, she started getting nauseous, but she didn't stop. She wasn't going to let this guy hurt Koda or anyone else. She let loose a gurgling yell as she teleported to Aizawa, pouting as she threw a now exhausted Muscular to the floor. It took her a minute to push down her nausea and realize that there was now an entire room full of people that were staring at her in shock. Shigaraki was sitting right next to Izuku, who was sitting at Nezu's desk, which was the only reason she didn't immediately grab him and give him the exact same treatment as Muscular. He gave a low whistle. And that is why I'm glad I'm switching sides. You're still in thin ice, Izuku said without looking up. Eraserhead can handle this goon if he wakes up. Hitoshi got himself out, but we know he's a target, so back him up. The teachers are going to the rest of the students. Ochako nodded. Got it. See you. Mineta cursed under his breath as he put on the gas mask. That stupid brainwasher. How had he gotten the jump on him so quickly? And now his bait for cheat code was gone, and the entire attack was just going far off the plans, that it wasn't even close to the same attack. He was out of backup plans to his backup plans, and now was firmly in the improvisation territory, which was not where a trapper preferred to be. He took a deep breath. He could still make this work in his favor. Sure, he'd let Shinso slip through his fingers, but Mustard had already set up the gas traps, and he just needed to make sure as many of his classmates as possible got caught in it. Most of them still didn't know he was the traitor, so he'll just lure them into the gas and take down as many as he could. He saw Sero up ahead, his freakishly large elbows backlit against what little light there was. Hey, do you know what's going on? Sero's eyes widened, and instead of greeting him like a friend, as Mineta had expected, Sero immediately shot out his tape. Guys, the traitor's here! Get him! Mineta swore and used his balls to stick to Sero's tape, to the wall instead of him. But he wasn't quite sure what other backup Sero had. Who had he been paired up with the exercise? What members of 1B were around? It had to be more than one person from what Sero had said. So the safest option was, well, to do what he planned to do to begin with. He may not have planned to have his classmate know his true intentions already, but actually this made his job, ironically, easier. Catch me if you can, bitches, Mineta murmured under his breath. Until you can't breathe, that is. He ran as fast as he could, in the direction of the gas, running just slow enough that his classmates stayed focused on him, and not on the gathering mist until it was too late. He heard multiple sets of footsteps, probably between 3 and 5, so a good number if everyone fell for his trap. He adjusted the gas map, and kept running until he heard a few thumps behind him, then turned around and doubled back. Sero had a brown-haired kid from 1B had fallen for it, but whatever others there were had gotten away. Mineta shrugged it off and went to find more students. There was no lack of targets wandering the halls at this point. He just had to find some more prey. Hitoshi swallowed and stared down Spinner. What conversation? Last I remembered you were trying to kill me. Spinner frowned. You said I had other people in my head. Explain what you mean. Oh. Hitoshi hesitated. He could take control right now, but Spinner didn't seem intent on killing him at the moment, and he could always brainwash him later. Izuku was always emphasizing how important information was, and for some reason, Hitoshi was intrigued. Okay, it was just one other presence, but it just felt like there were two minds. Two consciousness, kind of. It's hard to explain. But whose? Spinner looked so confused and almost angry. Whose mind is it? I don't know. Hitoshi's mind spun. He did not want to anger the hero killer. I might be able to brainwash it, though, to interrogate it. I don't know how else to figure it out. Sorry. Hitoshi silently cursed himself. He had just offered to brainwash the angry murderer. Of course, that was a brilliant plan. Way to make his opponent angry. Do it. Hitoshi reeled back in surprise. What? Do it, Spinner ordered. I'm not going to have another person messing with my head. Not while I go about Stain's important mission. I need to know what I'm fighting, so figure it out, or I swear on Stain's blood that I will cut you down where you stand. Okay. Hitoshi took control immediately. That was a pretty convincing reason to brainwash someone, not gonna lie. He took a deep breath and hoped this actually worked. Honestly, brainwashing Dark Shadow from Tokoyomi's brain had been hard enough, and he was working on taking half control so that people could actually talk under his brainwashing. So there was every chance that this was going to blow up in his face. But if it didn't, it would be really cool. First, he focused on Spinner's mind until he could feel the other presence inside it. Then he pushed a little forwards. The other's mind didn't resist his control, not in the way Dark Shadow had. In fact, it was almost like it knew he was trying to do, and hesitantly approved the plan. After he had control of both, he let go of Spinner, not trusting himself to be able to successfully interrogate if he was trying to brainwash multiple people. And oddly enough, he was pretty sure that Spinner wasn't going to kill him until he figured out who the other presence was. So it was a pretty safe move. Or at least, Hitoshi hoped so. Then he dialed back his quirk. He gave the other presence just enough control to be able to speak, but carefully kept enough that it should answer his questions. If everything went according to plan, that was, so it was about a 50-50 shot. Hitoshi carefully thought through the words of his questions before speaking, careful to phrase his question as in order. Tell me who you are. Spinner's voice spoke blankly. I am Stain, the hero killer. It took all of Hitoshi's willpower not to drop control right there and then. I thought you were dead, Hitoshi said. Tell us how you are here. A part of me was torn out when All for One stole my quirk, Stain answered. He is the one who had me killed. Spinner let out a guttural scream, and Hitoshi stumbled back at the sheer rage emancipating from him. Losing both his control and his footing, he scrambled back as Spinner drew his katana. He lied. Sensei lied. He told me that the hero killer Stain, he Lied! Hitoshi didn't know what to say, just scrambled backwards to put as much distance as he could between himself and the hero killers. Both of them. Oh no. He needed to ask a question, and quickly. He froze. No need for Stain's paralysis quirk? When the hero killer turned on him. I have no reason to kill you. For now. Spinner said, fire in his eyes. I have more important prey to take care of. He leaped onto the wall and scurried away, and Hitoshi waited for him to disappear completely before falling onto his back in relief. What the heck just happened? Ochako suddenly appeared beside him. What did I miss? Alright, okay. Sorry if you heard children screaming in the background or giggling or whatever. Unfortunately, because I am trying to get all these videos recorded before I have to go to the funeral and before tomorrow because, well, actually, the date switched. We're not doing it tomorrow, we're doing it today, but I have a feeling that's gonna go all the way till tomorrow because there's no way we're gonna be able to finish anyway early tomorrow. Or today. There's no way. Especially on my section. My section's like at least gonna be an hour and a half long. I'd be looking at my script. There's no way we're gonna finish early. So I'm trying to record as much as I can right now before I have to do that and before I have to go to the funeral, right? So I'm sitting here and I've been recording every episode one by one. Well, I mean, I always record every episode one by one. It would be weird if I recorded bit by bit. That would be weird, but what I mean is like all in one go. Like all of Cheat Code Support Strategist. I'm recording this on Friday when, this is going to be uploaded, if I remember correctly, Sunday. Yeah, this is either Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, because tomorrow's is Mondays, or the next one is Mondays. So yeah, this is very interesting. Are we finally going to get like Spinner gets revenge? Is Spinner going to be the one that ends it all? Like, I wonder what outcome this is going to be. I wonder what's gonna happen, like, is somebody gonna get kidnapped? I don't think so. We're too far, we're too close to the end for anything big like that to happen, but, like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, is Spinner gonna be the end of it? Like, what's gonna happen? Are the Trauma Boys finally gonna be happy? I want them to be happy. Are we gonna get an epilogue? I don't think we're gonna get an epilogue. That I've seen, Cloud doesn't do epilogues from the fanfics that I've read, so I don't think there's gonna be an epilogue. I really hope there will be, though. I want an epilogue, but yeah, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.